Aggression is strange. Depending on what creatures you are fighting, you may notice some things about how they fight. Some may just chase you and attack, others try to kite. Some also end up using special attacks, these attacks being either from range or just because they're on a timer. But there's a lot more to fighting that a solo player may not notice. There are subtle things about how creatures fight, and we're going to look at each of these small details. Many of these things you won't see solo, but they do become more apparent the more players or friendly entities that partake in fights. So let's take a deeper look at aggression. Whenever we start a fight, we have to first understand what we are fighting. Is it a spider, is it a pig, or is it a tall bird? Depending on the type of enemy you fight, there are certain things you have to keep in mind in how they will aggress the player. The spider is your standard aggressor, the chase and attack type. This is the type of creatures that will get close to the player and attack as soon as the player gets in range. These creatures will chase the player for a set amount of time, and their chase timer will reset whenever they get an attack off, whether it hits or not. Creatures with this type of attack usually need to initiate an attack for it to stay aggressive. So theoretically, against some creatures, you can perfectly cancel a creature's attack to the point that they lose aggression before they can even get the attack off. Like here with this spider. If you just hold F and hit it 16 times, it will just no longer be aggressive towards you. The aggression timer ran out, so the spider just ran away. This is something that's really cool, but you're never going to see this unless you actively try replicating it. This basic aggression of chase and attack applies to just about every creature in the game. Most creatures will get in range and try to attack the player, and refresh their chase timer every time they get a successful attack attempt. However, there are some creatures that don't have aggression timers. So what happens here? Hounds and shadow creatures are the main ones that don't have aggression timers. They will endlessly chase the player until they get an attack off, or until they get unloaded. Their aggression works based on when they do an attack. These creatures instead have a chance to de-aggro every attack that is missed. I don't know the exact numbers for hounds de-aggroing. It might be 50%, but it may also be 33%. Same as the shadow creatures. If you never let these creatures attack though, they will endlessly chase the player. The shadow creatures will even wait for you while you are sleeping to get a final bite off. Now that is some dedication. Other dedicated creatures are creatures that have territorial aggro. These are creatures that usually try to protect something. Tall birds, goose, merms, pig guards are all very obvious forms of territorial aggression. Getting close to the objects they are defending will cause them to aggro the player, and they have a set distance they will chase the player to. You can have some strange fights with these creatures if you try to fight them at a range outside of their tether. They'll slightly chase beyond their tethers, but their aggression is very short. There are creatures that are pseudo-territorial as well. They're not trying to protect anything, but they have a range that they will stay within. You can see this with rooks pretty commonly because they tend to be the easiest to get out of range. If they're stuck this way, they basically stop aggroing the player unless they get attacked. These creatures are Clockworks, the Ancient Guardian, Toadstool, Bee Queen, and the Twins. Not those twins, the Terraria twins. In fact, taking these creatures out of their arena is commonly used for solo speedruns on these creatures. Push them out of their arenas and they stop doing certain moves that make the fights really difficult to do as a solo player. There are some strange things that I couldn't find in the code but certainly exist when you play. A lot of this is how creatures change aggro while fighting. Sometimes creatures will stay on target even though they're being attacked by something else. Other times they target the creature that did the last hit and won't change targets till the animation is over. And other times they'll attack the creature that attacked last, but will swap aggression before the animation is over. There are also some strange things with creatures that have herd mentality, primarily beefaloes. They have both a tether range but also a timer. When beefaloes are out of heat, they will keep chasing the player until the timer expires, meaning you can get them really far away from their herd. While beefaloes are in heat, however, they will be more tethered to their herd. This difference in aggression time makes it possible to safely shave beefaloes while in spring without waking up the whole herd, which normally would happen if you get close to the herd. And finally, there's also aggression range. This means that if you get far enough away from a creature that is hostile towards you, you can cut their aggression time short. The distance is usually 10 or 15 turf tiles, but it varies on the creatures. Not every creature has this though. And that is all for now. Thanks a lot for watching towards the end. Thanks to the people who support me on Patreon. If you want me to cover anything specific, you can join there and make a suggestion. Every month I take all the suggestions and put them up for a vote. Whichever gets the most votes, I do towards the end of the month. So if you like to see something, join in and start suggesting. I'm also close to 3K subscribers. and I'm doing a question and answer special for that occasion. If you want to ask a question about me, the channel, or DST in general, go ahead and ask. The link to the form is in the description. I look forward to answering your questions. Until then, this has been Tara. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care!